you for another week. Football grind, show number 10. What's up, Jimmy? What's been going on?
What's going on, Creta, man? Doing pretty good. I 3-2 last week. I could have done worse. I could
Hey,
have done better.
I'm in the same boat. 3-2. Could have done worse. Could have done better. It's a winning week. Another winning week. I mean, we just give winners. We're picking 61% combined. I mean, that's pretty good. The
That'll help you pay off some stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. People in Vegas who do this for a living, their goal is 53%. You make money if you bet 53% every week. So we're at 61% for the year. So we're not doing too
For-
bad. Been like I said every week, hottest show on YouTube. No one's picking better than we are. A lot to get to. Cowboys. We'll start with the Cowboys. They get the win last week. Slow start. Didn't look great at first. Dak slow in his return, but we do have Dak. He's back. A little rusty, but the defense pulled through, prevailed. What did they end up? 4 or 5 turnovers.
Yeah,
Just like we thought. Defenses, maybe top defense in the league.
yeah, I think so. I think the defense, the this team will go as far as the def and the offense giving I mean, we got to be able to move the ball, do something. I mean, keep the defense off, let them get some rest, and then punt it. If our offense is just anemic, but the defense, I think the best part of our team, best defense, and they showed it. Now, granted, Detroit's terrible, but I tell you, I was impressed with Hutchinson
Yeah,
and that dude from Oklahoma State,
yeah.
fifth round linebacker.
Rodriguez.
That guy, yeah, that dude. I did not think Hutchinson. I thought, yeah, I mean, because he just was in the playoffs last year at Michigan. This
Yeah,
year, he is a. I mean, that guy might be the next J.J. Watt.
yeah. He could be defensive rookie of the year. Probably leading candidate. I mean, what do you have? 2 sacks?
Yeah,
Uh,
and looked good.
yeah,
Granted, Terrence Steele's no All Pro, but Terrence Steele knows what he's doing, and Hutchinson, I mean, baited him. Just looked like, it looked like watching. He looked like he going up against a college tackle.
I feel like the Lions are one of those teams because they were so bad for so long. They're definitely better this year than they were last year. But I feel like NFL people usually don't get a lot of time. But I feel like in 2 years, if they keep on the trajectory, they're going to be like a playoff team. I mean, they're going to be a pretty good team because they got, like you said, young guys on defense. That's why their defense isn't that good because they count on so many young guys. And
Right.
offense, I mean, they got Jared Goff at quarterback. They're limited there. But, I mean, they've been putting up some points except for the last 2 games. The Patriots, I think, shut them out, and the Cowboys held them to 6. But what I like seeing from the Cowboys, the running game has been really good, really kind of all year, but especially since the Rams game with Pollard and Zeke's picking it up. But I don't know if you heard today, Zeke announced he's out for the Bears, not going to play. So
Did I have a source? I had a source text me earlier, let me know Zeke was out. I instant fantasy football. It was so fresh. Yahoo, ESPN hadn't reported it yet.
Yeah, I
So,
mean we're locked in. We're a source. We had people questioning me even on Saturday. They didn't think Spencer Sanders was going to start. And we both kind of said, "Listen, if you'd have listened to the show on
yeah,
Thursday, we told you.
yeah,
Our sources told us he's starting."
yeah.
So I mean, we're locked in.
You know,
I had the same
no
thing
big
happen
deal.
earlier when I said A&M was going to Max Johnson. I think week 3. I had an Aggie. Like I haven't heard that anywhere else. Well, good thing you listened to this show because we're locked in.
Yeah,
And I
we know what
told
we're
you.
talking about.
So we got sources. Anyway, Zeke's out for the Bears. Bears looked really good Monday Night Football. They put it on the Patriots. Where's your worry meter, 0 to 10, of the Bears? Because before the game, it was about a 1 before Monday night. Watch them do that to the Patriots. It's closer to a 4 or 5 for me. But where's your worry meter? How serious are you taking the Bears? Cowboys are a 9.5 point favorite.
I'm taking. They're at a 5,
Yeah,
and I'm not. This isn't in our picks, but I might bet Chicago. I think if we cover, it's going to be late. kind of
Yeah.
cover. But we fortunately they did us a favor, front end favor, not a back end favor. They got rid of Robert Quinn, did him to
Right.
Philly, so we don't have to play him.
Yeah.
Revenge game for him, but have to play him again in December. But uh, the Bears, I don't know. I think we can get to Justin Fields. I don't believe he is. He's better than he was because he's finally got a coach believes in him. But he doesn't bother me. What bothers Dak, some of the decisions he made in the Lions, he's lucky that like Okuda, whoever that safety is, he's lucky that they can't catch. He's lucky they're on defense and not receivers because he threw up two gifts and they just I'm like that concerns me going into Chicago is kind of his trying to do too much. But I'd probably about a 5.
Yeah. Hopefully, Dak. Speaking of Dak, hope that's more of a Russ thing, more of a first
Oh,
bullets thing. Hope. One more game and then the bye. So hopefully he's gets more to form. But I'm with you. I agree with you. If you were going to bet this game, I think the Bears is a play, especially if it stays at 9.5 or 10. So many games in the NFL are one
mm-hmm.
score game, and anytime. And you saw what the Bears were capable of beat the Patriots
Yeah.
Monday night, and wasn't close. So anytime you got that, so many games are one possession games in the NFL. I think if you're going to bet that game, the Bears are definitely the play. But so Cowboys 5-2, one game left, and they head into the bye week, and then they got three in a row, pretty good games. They got at the Packers, at the Vikings, Thanksgiving, Giants at AT&T Stadium. So beat the Bears, and then next three games on your schedule kind of will tell you a lot about what this team's capable of come towards the end of the season. So
Yeah, like you said, that stretch is going to tell us everything we need to know about this cow, how good it really is. I keep seeing, on various social stuff, these other experts, they're ranking us, and they have us as legitimate contenders, which I tend to agree with,
yeah,
depending on what team shows up. So I'd love to James Watt. Uh, I'd love to see us go get DJ Moore or another. You know, he wants out of Carolina. There's the cat in
the
the
Jet with
I
the
think it's
Jets,
Elijah Moore.
Elijah Moore.
He
Yeah,
wants out. So, but two Moores, where they're at. And I tell you what, I'd take DJ Moore in a heartbeat. I think
absolutely.
go out and get him. I do like what we did online, going to get the D tackle from the Raiders. So
I like that.
I think that's a need. But yeah, depending on what Cowboys team shows up, man, and what we do, we could do something. Be same old Cowboys.
Yeah, we'll say I've said it all year. I'm a big believer in the defense, and I think you got a defense like that. The defense it'll show up. It tends to show up when you're got an elite defense, and it can carry you. So, uh, we'll see. Take care of the Bears Sunday. I feel like they'll win. Like you said, I can see it being another close game, and Cowboys scoring a touchdown or even kicking a field goal late to get a little cushion. But Cowboys Bears on Sunday. College football Saturday. Kind of a lighter week. We've had two pretty good weeks in a row. Um, I think 11 ranked games the last 2 weeks. 5 2 weeks ago, 6 last week. This week, only 3, and two of them are double-digit spreads. You got number 2 Ohio State at 13 Penn State. Penn State at home getting 15.5 points. Number 9, Oklahoma State at number 22, Kansas State. Kansas State favored at home by 1.5. Oklahoma State facing their third ranked team in a row, second on the road. And then number 19, Kentucky at number 3, Tennessee. Tennessee favored at home by 12.5. Two of the Ohio State, Penn State. Ohio State's looking like the real deal. Penn State got smoked by Michigan. Bounced back last week, beat Minnesota. Tennessee is getting better every week to me. Kentucky, I don't really give Kentucky much of a chance there. I can see maybe because they play hard and they're well coached, keeping it close for a while. But Tennessee at home, especially at night, I feel like
New
I'm not
uniforms
betting that one, but
for the Vols.
yeah, it'd be hard for me to take Kentucky. And then Oklahoma State, I picked Oklahoma State last week, hosting Texas. Congratulations to the Pokes. They've been playing football for over 100 years, Jimmy. Did you know last week was the first game in the history of Oklahoma State football they did not commit a penalty in a game? Yeah.
That's unheard of.
First time ever
Ever.
they did not commit a penalty in a game. So, uh, must be the best coach team of all time.
I believe it.
But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and say as a Texas fan that's why they lost. I think there was a handful that I thought maybe there was some holding or pass interference on them. But
Mm-hmm.
truth of the matter is, the Longhorns had the lead, had a 10-point lead in the second half. Really were in control the entire first half. But the reason I picked Oklahoma State was because, one, I think Mike Gundy's the best coach in the Big 12, and I think he's a better head coach
Mm-hmm.
than Steve Sarkisian. And number two, I mean, I'm a fan of Quinn Ewers, but he struggled against Iowa State, and I just felt like, and I think Spencer Sanders just kind of held Oklahoma State back. But him being a 4-year guy facing a 19-year-old making his first true road start, I mean, you got the better coach, and the quarterback is, he's more experienced. I think and they were getting points at home. I thought it was a kind of a no-brainer, and worked out for me. Steve
You bet.
Sarkisian is now 10-10 as head coach at Texas, Jimmy. 5 of those 10 losses, he's had a double-digit lead in the second half, blown it. So
They're gonna have to correct that.
yeah,
Something's got to give. You either got to get Patterson in there at defense, or you got to let Sark give up play call. I don't know what it is,
well,
man.
I
But
don't think he's
you
got to
can't.
give up play calling. I think he's one of the best. But the problem is, in all these letdowns, you can say the defense, but they don't score points in the second half in every single one of them. Texas scored 3 points in the second half against Oklahoma State. They scored 31 in the first half, 3 in the second half. Texas Tech, their earlier loss on the road, same thing. They had a big lead at halftime, and even in the third quarter, they only scored 10 points. They scored a touchdown in the third and a field goal to
Yeah.
tie it up late.
Mm.
So I think he gets away from the run. I think people make
Which is crazy.
exactly.
Bijan, the running back
They were
he's
running all
got
over him.
at Texas.
On Coffee with Creta, I gave Bijan Robinson over 110.5 yards rushing.
Dude.
He got it in the first half just about. He had 100 yards in the first half. And Sark, I think, abandons the run too much in the second half. I really think he does. I think he gets too pass happy.
Crazy.
Quinn Ewers was 19 of 49 passing the football. I was pretty obvious after about 10. I was like, this kid ain't got it today. He's off. And he threw it 49 times. So, but credit to Oklahoma State. Kept on, battled. I thought they were the better team going in. I think they're the better team after it finished. They got a touchdown win. Now they got to go on the road again. Big 12 has just been what a competitive conference this year. TCU, Kansas State. Kansas State had an 18-point lead on them. TCU came back and got the win. So TCU's undefeated in the Big 12. Kansas State, Oklahoma State each have one loss. They're at second. So the winner will be in second. Loser will be in third. And Texas has a bye before they go at Kansas State and then host TCU. So it's still a couple weeks before this thing really gets decided, but I think Oklahoma State, if this is their last ranked team they're gonna have to play out of this murderer's row they got, if they can somehow get a win here, you got to feel good about them getting to the conference championship.
I think so too. And like you said, Kansas State is one of those teams. They're like the Northwestern, the Big 12. Their color scheme, they play hard. You don't really want to play them. You know that each week you've got to prepare than what you think, and so it's a big game.
Exactly. Kansas State plays. They try to make the game ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Is what they try to do. I mean, they got a lot of JUCO guys. Bill Snyder back in the day, same with Chris Kleiman. They get JUCO guys. They're tough, hard nosed. They try to win ugly, and they make it ugly. So, but Adrian Martinez, he's questionable. He went out after the first series last week against TCU. The backup Will Howard, who's been the backup for 4 years, he was Skylar Thompson's backup. Now he's
Golly.
He's been there for 4 years, been a backup all 4 years. He played well last week until he got hurt towards the end. So don't know if Martinez is playing. So keep an eye on that. I think Vegas, either they think he's playing or they think it doesn't matter. Kansas State's a 1.5-point favorite here. And then Florida, Georgia. Florida's not ranked. I expect Georgia to
Yeah.
give them a whipping. And Kentucky at Tennessee, kind of talked about. I don't give Kentucky much of a chance
Mm-mm.
for 4 quarters, you know. And Ohio State, Penn State, it's an early game. If it was a night game, I think Penn State would feel a lot better about themselves. But I mean, I think Ohio State's just a better football team.
Yeah. I think Ohio State's that good, Trey.
I do
We're
too.
talking about the team that 54 on Iowa last week.
I mean, Iowa hadn't given up,
That's a
barely
real
given up
team.
54 in conference play.
Yeah.
And Ohio State went and, of course, they had at least one defensive touchdown. They might have had two, or it
Yeah.
might have been a block punt, and then, yeah, Iowa's offense. I've never seen a team so bad at offense and pretty good at defense, but gave up 54.
Wild.
Speaking of Ohio State being pretty legit, college football playoff. The first rankings come out Tuesday, November 1st. Jimmy, who is your top 4 today? If you had to go top 4, who's in it?
Georgia,
Yep. Agreed.
Ohio State.
Agreed. I think Tennessee. And they're undefeated.
And today, I think they've got it right. I think they've got it right so far. Ohio State and Michigan still have to play. That'll work. I don't think Clemson deserves to be there.
No, I think TCU is better than Clemson.
Yeah. Yeah. So
is Michigan number 4 right now? Do you put Michigan above TCU?
Yeah, because like I said, those two will work itself out. Either Ohio State will lose or Michigan will lose, and that'll work itself out. Michigan will either be there or it won't. Basically, they'll either beat Ohio State and deserve to be in, or they'll lose and it'll be down. And then TCU, they keep playing. I think TCU makes the playoffs if they go undefeated. If undefeated the rest of the season.
I agree. TCU getting no love from the AP poll. They have one loss Alabama above TCU, which I completely disagree with. Has Alabama beat a ranked team? Now I know Texas was technically ranked week 2, but they're not ranked right now. Has Alabama?
They beat us. I think we were ranked 23rd or something when they beat us.
That's what Texas was ranked. Or no, Texas might not have been ranked week 2. That's right, they weren't, and they got ranked after losing to Alabama. So yeah, Arkansas's not ranked right now, but they were ranked when they played, I guess. Yeah, but anyway, TCU's got 3 ranked wins in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Georgia is 1 in the AP poll. Georgia 1, Ohio State 2, Tennessee 3, Michigan 4, Clemson 5, Alabama 6, TCU 7. I think TCU should be 5. I'd even put Clemson 6, Alabama 7. Alabama's got a loss. I know it was on the road at Tennessee only by 3, but I still think this late in the season, ranked team, if you're undefeated and beat at least 1 or maybe even 2 ranked teams, you should be ahead of 1-loss teams.
I'll agree to that. I think Clemson's weak. I mean, you got to win. You win the games on your schedule.
Yeah. Clemson, what do you think about this? We'll touch on this before we get to picks. So Dabo Swinney, they're losing, getting outplayed by Syracuse, by the way. DJ Ugalele is making turnover. He had 4 turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
It's either right at the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter. They're down 12 points, I think it was. They put in the backup, true freshman from Austin Westlake, Cade Klubnik. Klubnik goes in, 2 drives, 2 touchdowns. Clemson takes the lead. Klubnik finishes the game. Clemson wins the game. And then immediately after the game, they're not even off the field yet. And Dabo says, no. DJ Ugalele is our quarterback. Just had to make a substitution. He wasn't getting it done. And I'm just sitting there listening. You're saying all the reasons why you did it, and it was a great move on your part why you did it. But you're also saying all the reasons why you need to go with Klubnik for the foreseeable future. He's not getting it
Yeah.
done. And I mean, Klubnik went in and he got 2 drives, 2 touchdowns. Third drive got a field goal. They end up winning by 5 or 6. But what do you think about Dabo? Not
Good.
even waiting until after the game to say something. On the field, immediately says, "No, DJ's our quarterback."
Yeah. And you know why he said that?
He doesn't want
I
a
tell you
quarterback
why.
controversy.
Matayo
Oh, well, his brother.
Ukulele.
His brother,
His
defensive
brother
end.
doesn't even have Clemson before, but that's the whole reason he's staying with DJ
That's a good
Ukulele.
point.
Can't be the play on the field because you and I have said it all season. We said it going from last year. We were like, unless it's completely different, Clemson is going to lose 1 or 2 games. We didn't realize Miami would literally not be anywhere close to competitive,
Yeah.
but we said it last week. Said their best quarterback is sitting on the bench, and he came in and proved it. DJ Ukulele's little brother is the only reason he's still a starting quarterback in the Power Five conference
Yeah.
because his little brother is a 5-star defensive end.
Yeah.
So
Getting recruited by everybody. Been offered by
yeah,
everybody.
and I'm sitting here. That's the only reason, and it's crazy. Ukulele Klubnik is the best team.
You look at Clemson, because there's a chance they could sneak in because TCU's got a way harder schedule than Clemson does. So TCU might not go undefeated. And if that happens, one of Ohio State, Michigan's going to lose. Clemson could go undefeated. They have a bye this week, but then they're at Notre Dame. Notre Dame's 4-3, but anything can happen at Notre Dame. Then they host Louisville. Louisville's 4-3. They host Miami. Miami's 3-4, and then they host South Carolina. Now South Carolina could give them a run for their money.
Rivalry game, big rivalry game. I remember the last year. I think it was Lou Holtz's last game at South Carolina. Fist fight on the field. They don't care. Those two schools hate each other, and South Carolina is going to come to play. A&M, not saying a whole lot.
If Clemson's sitting there with a chance to be in the 4th spot in the playoff, I'm going to be rooting for South Carolina because I don't think Clemson might go undefeated, but I don't think they're the 4th best team in the country.
Not by a long shot. They play in the conference, and that's another example of everyone is in love with Dabo. Look how fun Dabo is in the locker room,
I like
and he
Dabo,
does this and that. But everybody likes Dabo, right? He's a good guy.
This team is benefiting from a weak conference.
Right.
This team is not
right.
And Notre Dame, and they're catching Notre Dame on a year where they're not as good as they have.
Yeah.
They're not a playoff contender, Notre Dame.
No.
So, all right. Well, we'll see what the College Football Playoff Committee comes out with on Tuesday. The first rankings, of course, they give a whole 25. See what they do. I'm interested to see where they have Clemson as well. I think TCU is better than Clemson. I think TCU should be 5. You can even put Alabama above Clemson. I wouldn't have them above TCU.
No. I think TCU, the resume speaks for itself. And here's the thing, even if you think TCU is going to lose, just like I said, that stuff will take care of it. Rank them above it. If you don't think they can run the gauntlet, rank them above them so that it will silence the critics. And then when they lose, you go, oh, well, we'd have them up there, but they lost.
Yeah.
But
if it was me on the committee, I'd put those 6 undefeated teams would be 1 through 6. TCU would be 5, Clemson 6, and then I'd probably have Alabama, Oklahoma State, Oregon, all the 1-loss teams that are up there as well. All right. So, anything else to talk about before we get to picks? I think it's kind of a lighter week. So we'll get to picks. Like we said, both of us were 3-2 last week. I am at 63% on the season, 27-16. Jimmy right behind me, 59% at 26-18 on the season. I got 5 college plays for you this week. And I'm going to start with TCU at West Virginia. And this is one of those spots. West Virginia got smoked last week at Texas Tech. Texas Tech's a way better team at home. I called it. I knew that was going to happen. West Virginia got smoked. TCU, back-to-back weeks, they come back from double digits to win the game. Those were at home. Now they go on the road, and it's an 11 o'clock kick in West Virginia. West Virginia getting a touchdown and a half. This is one of those games, I don't think if you gamble, I don't think you just look at it and go, well, TCU is way better than West Virginia. Yeah, but you're going to look up in that 4th quarter, and it's going to be close. And I think TCU wins the game because they're better than West Virginia, but West Virginia is a way better team at home. They kind of ran away from Baylor a couple weeks ago at home, looked way better than they did against on the road last week. So I feel like this is a spot where West Virginia can kind of catch TCU. They're getting a touchdown and a half. I can see TCU win this game by a touchdown, 3-4 points touchdown. So I'm gonna take West Virginia at 7.5 plus 7.5.
The dog at home always say, well, I'm going to start out and I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going Arkansas Auburn. I'm minus 3.5. Auburn has not been impressive this year. We've got healthy case and we're coming off a bye week. I think we're going to get some kinks worked out. Like I said, get KJ, get him in the ice bath, cryo freeze, whatever it is. And I think he's going to be ready. We're going to be able to run the ball, and I think we win by or more. Hogs minus 3.5.
I like it. And Hogs looked really good. They had the bye week, looked really good against BYU, and it was at BYU, wasn't it?
At BYU in.
Hogs about to pick up some steam. They're gonna finish strong. I can feel it. Next game I got Ohio State at Penn State. We kind of talked about that. I think Ohio State's legit. They put up 54 on Iowa. Over under 61 in this Ohio State Penn State game. I think Ohio State's going to come back and put up at least 40 on Penn State, if not more, and just need Penn State to fight a couple tutties. So I'm going to go over 61, Ohio State and Penn State.
I'm going to stay in the same. I'm taking the big dog. I'm going Ohio State minus 15.5. Trey, this isn't even going to be close. Penn State came in, thought they were somebody, messed around and found out. They went to when they played Michigan in the big house. They're going to find out again. Big dog in the Big Ten is, and it's Ohio State. And it would not surprise me if this is something to the teens. Ohio State. Ohio State's going to come out and send a message. 15.5. Take it.
I like it. And it could just be like a message to Michigan. Like, hey, you beat them by this much. We're going to beat them by even more.
Yeah.
Next game, Syracuse hosting Notre Dame. I've watched Syracuse so much this year. I really felt like they were going to struggle a little bit against Clemson's size up front on the defensive side. They did not. I mean, they outplayed them for the most of that game and had every opportunity to win that game. And some might feel that they should have won the game. But I'm really impressed. They're at home hosting Notre Dame. Notre Dame's been so up and down. Notre Dame's 4-3. I think Syracuse is, Dino Babers is a great coach. I hadn't always had the best talent there at Syracuse, but they really impressed me last week. And if they don't have a hangover, if they're ready to go, I feel like Syracuse takes care of Notre Dame at home. So I'm going the Syracuse Orange minus 2.5 at home against Notre Dame.
I like it. They helped me out last week. Another team helped everybody out last week. Oklahoma State at Kansas State. Oklahoma State wins this ball game. They're getting 1.5 points. It's on the road. It's in. I think Oklahoma State wins this game. This is where I think we've Kansas State kind of fall off and just sort of it. All right, it's over 5-3 now. Oklahoma State plus 1.5 in Manhattan.
And I'm with you. I also have that down as a pick. Oklahoma State plus 1.5. It's kind of like the same reason why I took Oklahoma State over Texas last week. Mike Gundy's the better coach. Spencer Sanders is going to be the better quarterback, whoever Kansas State runs out there. The only difference is this one's on the road, but they're still getting some points. And I think Oklahoma State is just the better football team. I think at home, I would put Oklahoma State a touchdown favorite if it was in Stillwater. So I think Vegas is over-adjusted a little bit. I feel like Oklahoma State is going to win this game, and I think they're going to win it by probably a touchdown, if I had to say. So I'm with you. I think Oklahoma State definitely covers, win the game, plus 1.5.
I like it. I went back and forth on this one, but I'm going to go Ole Miss minus 2 Texas A&M in Kyle Field. A&M just had to suspend 3 players, greatest recruiting class of all time. That program's in shambles. The head coach calling plays who needs to give it up. Uh, and I Miss is going to have a bounce back game. Um, I just Ole Miss is Ole Miss is going to win this game. Ole Miss is going to win this game by more than 2.
If you're, I mean, I had this on. If I was gonna, I'm taking 5 games. If I was gonna take 6, this would be my 6th one. I mean, if you're betting this game, how could you take A&M right now and feel good about it?
Yeah, you can't.
I know it's at home and it's at night. There's so many off the field problems going on, and
Mm-hmm.
it sounds like there's more than what the public knows about. You got 3 guys smoking weed in the locker room after the game last week against South Carolina.
Knuckleheads, man, come on now.
You can't,
Like, what are
you
you?
can't do that. What are you thinking?
Don't do it in the locker room, man. Do what you want to do, but don't do it in the locker room. Like you're saying,
Golly.
that's a lack of institutional control.
Yeah, I mean that. Think about that. I mean, think of the ballsiness on these kids to just toke up some weed. I think it
I
was
mean,
on
hey,
a vape pen, but it's marijuana.
yeah,
It's marijuana. I mean, just the balls on them to do it in South Carolina's locker room after the game. They're thinking, what were they thinking? Like, who cares?
they weren't thinking, Trey. They weren't thinking. You win the national championship, bust out a stogie in the locker room. Who cares? What are you going to do? You chip not. You just been losing, and your season's done, and so you're going to go on toke in the locker room and then get beat on the field. Like,
Here's the
man.
deal: if you're Texas A&M, you're setting at 3-4, I believe. You got a home game at Ole Miss, and you're getting 2 points. Is it 2 or 2.5? 2. 2. You're getting 2 points at home against Ole Miss. Ole Miss, who's looked great until last week. LSU's quietly having a nice season, by the way.
Yeah.
Brian Kelly, he's a good coach. Anyway, so Ole Miss chance to bounce back. A&M's a chance to save their season, because if they don't lose this one, you talk about 3-5, things could unravel in a hurry.
Yeah.
And then you're talking about going south, because this schedule, it's not any easier for A&M. They got LSU still, of course, Ole Miss. I think they got Auburn, and then I know they have UMass. I mean, they'll beat UMass with whoever.
Yeah, that should.
But
Florida, they play Ole Miss, Florida, Auburn, UMass, and then they end with LSU.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's almost like if A&M's got to win this game, or the only game they might win is UMass.
You're right.
Because it seems like there's a lot of distractions going around with those guys. You're hearing a lot of portal talk. You're hearing a lot of guys upset. So it feels like there's a lot of going on there that we don't. We know a little bit. We know some guys smoked some weed in the locker room after the game and got it suspended. And we know there's been other stuff, guys driving 100 miles an hour in a parking garage, and then some other suspensions. So I don't know. It's one of those things. Looking outside, looking in, looks like something's going on, and it ain't good.
Yeah.
So this is A&M. If I'm an A&M fan, I'm not feeling great right now.
No, I'm concerned.
That worry meter, how we talk about the Bears, Cowboys, that worry meter's at about 9.
Yeah.
And if you lose this game, it'd be about 10.
Yeah, and then once it gets to 12, it's.
And the problem is, I think Ole Miss is probably the better football team. I mean, they got the better quarterback. They got, as a whole, the better offense. A&M still probably has a better defense, but South Carolina was run the ball on them.
Mm-hmm.
And Ole Miss got a couple good backs, Zach Evans, a couple other guys. So it's going to be a dangerous one for all the Aggies.
The Aggies. Yep.
Being a night game at Kyle Field, the 12th man could save them. The 12th man could save the season for the Aggies. It's all on the fans to save the season, to be loud and save the season. My last one, another rivalry game. It's not getting a lot of play because Florida's not that great. Florida, Georgia. Neutral site in Jacksonville. Give me Florida, Georgia over 56.5.
Ooh, I like it. World's largest outdoor cocktail party.
Yeah, I think Georgia is going to score some points.
I'm going to do my last one. I'm going North Carolina at home against Pittsburgh. I think Mac Brown and the Tar Heels win this one. They put up some points, and I think they cover that 3 pretty easily. So give me North Carolina at home.
I like it. I like it a lot. That'll do it for the show.